because I got a bunch of stuff on my mind right now. I'm really agitated. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm very agitated, to say the least, and nobody is going to calm me down today. You know, I'm sitting at home minding my business, minding my damn business, getting ready for an NFL season that's just weeks away. And all of a sudden, I'm getting text messages and stuff like that from my team talking about, oh, my God, what's going on, Stephen A? Stephen A is looking really bad right now. What a bad look. This is God-awful. What the hell are y'all talking about? I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Why are y'all bugging me with this? If there's something going on, let me know. Did you see the stories? Did you see the stories? Did you see what they're saying about you on social media and all of that other stuff? Not like I normally care. Because you see, the beauty of when you have the #1 sports morning show for the worldwide leader, ESPN, okay, for 12 consecutive years and counting. And by the way, that's every week, every month, and every year over the last 12 years, okay? When you got that kind of platform, when you got the kind of platform that I have right now, owning and operating this podcast, when you got social media where I've got over 14 million followers, when you've got the kind of reach that I have, when you reach over 2 billion people annually on YouTube alone, I don't really have to comment about everything. I don't really have to get into a whole bunch of stuff, but certain things are necessary. And I don't follow this old adage, oh, just be quiet and it'll go away, and oh, don't worry about it. Sure, you could take that kind of mentality, but I'm not trying to back up, particularly when I know some false narratives are being put out there. And I understand folks that are different than me. I understand folks that want to keep quiet and don't want to say anything because they usually don't have this platform. So they can't win because their voice doesn't resonate and they're not able to disseminate a message as profoundly and as consistently as I can because they don't do this for a living. I understand that. The mistake some of y'all made is I do this for a living. So you've been looking for me. Here I am. The Stephen A. Smith Academy, okay, basketball academy at IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida, scheduled for this week, August 6th to August 12th, evidently has caused an uproar. Because people have looked at the academy and people have said, what the hell is going on? You've got kids that you're from the inner city. How could you even be a part of something like this? I said, a part of what? What are you talking about? I'm speaking at a basketball camp. They put a basketball camp in my name. I'm honored. Do you know the history of IMG? Do you know the reputation of IMG? Do you know the stars that have come out of that academy? Do you know how it was first started? Do you know the work that they do? The contributions that they make to a bunch of kids who are underprivileged, to those who are affluent? Do you have any idea? All I was doing was giving a speech, which is what I do. I show up, I talk to kids, I give a speech, I try to inspire and motivate. That's what I was coming from. Oh, it's nearly $3,000. How could you be a part of that? What kind of dude are you? IMG Academy, reading right off of Wikipedia, because all of y'all read off of this because y'all could have went there yourself. It's a preparatory boarding school, a sports training destination set across over 600 acres. By the way, features programs consisting of sports camps for youth athletes, adult camps, a boarding school, including postgraduate/gap year programs, events, professional and collegiate training, group hosting, and corporate retreats. That's what it's known for. It's also known to offer this free to an inordinate amount of kids. Others who can afford it obviously ain't going to get it free. You ever go to college? There are those who get a scholarship. There are those who get a grant. And there are those who have no chance in hell of getting anything free because they come from a financial stratosphere that's way, way, way up there. Who doesn't know that? Who doesn't know that? So that's number one. Number two, let's get to me specifically. With all due respect, I'll talk to IMG in a second. The president of IMG is coming on because I'm showing up there this weekend. And oh, by the way, despite the scrutiny and everything that y'all want to throw in my direction, I'm still going. And it ain't for the money because I donated to either an HBCU or the United Negro College Fund. That's my history. You see, this is about a character issue here. And the one thing that I'm never going to stand for is somebody thinking they could get away with questioning my character. I know how Janet Smith raised me, God rest her wonderful soul. I know how my four sisters raised me. We ain't going to have me sitting idly by and being quiet because y'all lying about a brother's character. I ain't having it. I'm not having it. I'm going to repeat myself again. I'm not taking a dime. Any money that I get, when I give speeches to corporate 500 companies and hedge funds and universities that have 7-figure budgets for speeches and they pay everybody else, sure. For something for the kids, I've never done that. Never. And I'll get into all of that for a second because the first thing I want to say to some of you idiots, not all, not most, but some of y'all some damn idiots. I mean, y'all give new definition to fools. Just ignorant asses. Fact of the matter is, I'm not going to call you a fool because I think you're ignorant ass on purpose. You do it on purpose. And I know my team is going, oh, Stephen A., calm down. Stephen, bump that. Hell no. I'm listening to folks, and particularly people in the media, got the nerve to question and throw shade on my name. Let's get the basketball stuff out of the way. I'm sick and tired of people lying about my basketball resume. Ladies and gentlemen, when I say that I wasn't great, I'm talking about compared to greatness. I was good enough to get a basketball scholarship. I was good enough to get my education paid for with 2 bad knees. They talk about I averaged 1.5 points a game. I saw some article on social media. That's a lie. It was less. See that? You didn't know I was going to say that, did you? It was less than that. It's a lie. How about 0? Because I never played. Because I cracked my kneecap in half. I got operated on at Wake Forest University in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. My mama was by my bedside. My sisters came to see me. They said I'd never walk straight again. My bone cracked in half. My first year at Winston-Salem State. I still have those knee pains to this very day. Still. In the knee that still has a 6-inch screw in it that I never took out. And in the left knee, because I spent years overcompensating for the pain in the right knee. You didn't know that, did you? Did you? You want to sit up there and think, I just ride the bench. I couldn't play. Ask people who played against me whether or not I could play. But if you hurt, and that's life. So let's get the basketball stuff out of the way. Let's get the how could you do this to people in terms of taking money. Do you have any idea who the hell you're talking to? My name is Stephen A. Smith. I am a graduate of an HBCU, Winston-Salem State University. I donate a minimum of $50,000 to $100,000 a year to my alma mater, a minimum, along with contributions to various other people that I know in the HBCU community. Let me not stop there. Did you know that I am the ambassador for HBCU Week, and I have been for years? Did you know that since 2019, I have the numbers here because I asked them to research it. I asked them to research it here, okay? $46 million in scholarships awarded to students from our college fairs that I helped organize, that I generated interest in. Did you notice something strange happen on First Take? Did you notice that in 2018, all of a sudden, every single year, there was a month dedicated to HBCUs? Did you notice that there was a college fair at the University of Delaware where Magic Johnson and executive VP of the National Football League, Troy Vincent, showed up? Did you notice that the NFL elevated its level of contributions to HBCUs in the aftermath of that college fair? Did you know that Magic Johnson does business with HBCUs? Did you notice that a couple of years ago at Disney World in Orlando, Florida, over 8,000 kids showed up to receive scholarships? Who was behind that? Take your time, I'll wait. Since y'all talking, y'all chirping, right? Y'all know so much, right? Who's behind that? Ashley Cooper is this wonderful, wonderful woman that oversees all of that. She does much more work than me, and her involvement, it's her baby, her creation. She is phenomenal. But she wasn't on national TV until she came to your boy. She wasn't on ESPN until she came to your boy. They didn't have HBCU week at Disney World in concert with Disney on the Yard until they called your boy. You think I'm lying? Ask for Sean McDonald, who helped organize it with her. Ask Dave Roberts, the executive VP at ESPN right now. Ask Jimmy Pitaro, the president of ESPN. Ask Bob Iger, the CEO of Walt Disney. Why don't you ask him? See, y'all got opinions. I have facts. $46 million scholarships awarded to college fairs since 2019. $18.6 million in scholarships awarded from our partnerships with our corporate partners since 2019. That is a grand total of $64.6 million in scholarships awarded from foundations, to HBCU Week to give these scholarships to these kids. Nearly $65 million in scholarships to these kids. 2,100 scholarships awarded from our college fairs, 494 scholarships awards for our partnerships with our corporate sponsors, 2,594 scholarships awarded. College fair in Wilmington, Delaware, 8,000, nearly 8,000 people showed up. College fair in Atlanta, Georgia, nearly 5,000 people showed up, both in the year 2023. What are you talking about? You'd come at me? You'd come at me? Like I'm somebody that has no connection nor any concern about underprivileged youth? Do you have any idea about my history? Do you know how many people I strive to help every single day? You see how sleazy this is? Even when my book, Straight Shooter, Memoir, Second Chances, and First Takes, a New York Times bestseller for 9 weeks, both audio and print, when I went to Boys and Girls High School, when I went to my alma mater, Thomas Edison High School, when I went to Tottenville High School in Staten Island, New York, I gave those books away for free. People still call me. Why? Because I'm always philanthropic. I'm always striving to do what I can to help. That has never, ever, ever been an issue with me until y'all asses hopped on social media the other day without a damn clue what you're talking about. You thought I was going to let that slide? You think I'm going to go for that? You must be out your damn mind. It ain't going down like that. And if it wasn't for the times that we're living in, post-pandemic, losses, making adjustments, cuts, etc., we'd be out now. We'll probably be out in the future. Corporate sponsors want to continue to participate. Hell, we'll take the show on the road. We'll give national profiles. And that's just talking about HBCUs. That's not just talking about me. HBCUs is one component. I am a proud black man. There's nothing in this world that I love being more than black. But I'm never just about black appeal. I'm about mass appeal. I don't have shade towards any kid. Black, white, Latino, Asian American, Native American, I don't give a damn who you are. You're a kid. You're one of God's children. You're on the come up. It's my responsibility, along with others in my position and beyond, to help as best as we possibly can. IMG is doing that. Why would I choose to be a part of it if it wasn't the case? chirping and chirping and talking and talking. I don't know what the hell y'all talking about. That's why I'm glad I got this podcast. Because I ain't letting that slide. Podcast, perfect place to do it. Not on national television. I could have did it on national television this morning on First Take. I wouldn't have had the time. But on this platform, I got all the time I want. It's mine. Y'all ain't going to get away with that. My mama didn't raise me to be any other way. I believe in giving. I believe in giving back. And to the ignorant fools out there that want to look at basketball and say he never played pro sports. I mean, what the hell could he tell these kids? How dumb can you be? An athlete can talk to them about playing. He can talk to them, or she can talk to them about the trials and tribulations and the sacrifices one must make. But the reality of the situation is none of them are on the air 2 hours a day every weekday, 10 hours a week, 450 hours a year, minimum. Minimum. And I got bad news for y'all, because I know there's quite a few of y'all out there that just, you're sickened over my success. I understand. I know it makes you sick. Be sick away. It happens. I worked for everything I had. Ain't nobody give me anything. I had to scratch and claw my way to where I am today. Everything that I had was earned. Nothing was given. So when you're talking to youngsters on the come up, what kind of message are you trying to send? You don't pay attention to what's going on in the sports world today? You think I'm going there to IMG this weekend to talk to these kids about bouncing a basketball? Did it ever occur to you that I'm using myself to highlight what awaits them? The scrutiny, the inquisition, the investigation, the probing, the standards set. That's what the organizations do. I have volunteered out of my own free time and money to the National Football League, to the National Basketball Association, to colleges, to speak to aspiring athletes or organizations and their players about what lurks down the pike. Adrian Peterson, child abuse because he spanked his kid and corporal punishment. Ray Rice putting his hands on his then fiance, now his wife. Drugs, alcohol, lawlessness. The list goes on and on. Who you think telling these kids? Go ahead and go to the strip club. Go ahead and get high, get drunk, and think they ain't watching. They watching everything. You think the athletes are the only ones who need to tell them that? You don't think they need to hear about from somebody like me? Who's on the air every day talking about them? Talking about what owners, what presidents, what GMs, what coaches, what scouts, what evaluators, what player personnel directors, what team managers, what team equipment managers, assistant coaches, players, teammates. You don't think that somebody like me who's been covering sports for 30 years, you don't think that there's a message, a productive, constructive message that I can elocute and articulate? You don't think that's possible? Why they fill the seats at Temple University when I came to speak there? How about Kentucky? How about Florida? How about Temple? How about Cincinnati? How about Syracuse? The list goes on and on and on. I've been giving speeches for years. Years. Nick Saban flew me in to speak at Alabama. Dabo Sweeney asked me to come down, albeit to apologize for picking against him, but he wanted me to talk to his football team at Clemson. I get offers all the time. I'm just in studio so damn much, I don't have the time. There isn't a month that goes by that I don't get a multitude of requests to come speak. Ask Nick Saban at Alabama. Ask the mouth of the South, Paul Feinbaum, and what he heard about my speeches. The kind of message that I disseminate to young minds on the come up, even if they're on a collegiate level, just to hopefully Guard yourself against the minefields and the pitfalls and the obstacles that'll stand in your way. So my response to the critics, particularly those in this industry that would dare bring into question, what would I have to do? What would I have to do with having my own academy and speaking at IMG? My point is, why the hell ain't you doing it? Why are you not doing it? To whom much is given, much is required. If you've been blessed and fortunate enough to be elevated to a stratosphere where you are a voice and you can disseminate a message that reaches the masses and you have people's ear, why not use it? Isn't that what this is supposed to be about? Making fun, talking about it. First of all, it's real easy to talk about me now that I'm 55 years old, okay? And I might play ball once every 4 years. You ain't talk about me when I was younger, whereas I couldn't go against any of these professional athletes, but it didn't mean I wouldn't whip your butt. We ain't talk about that. You don't grow up playing in the streets of New York City. West 4th Street, 135th in Harlem, Staten Island, Rutgers Park, Queens O'Connell Park, Jamaica Park, Hollis. You don't grow up balling and you have no idea how to ball. You don't get a full ride on a scholarship where you can't play at all. So what? I wasn't good enough to be professional or whatever. I was good enough to manufacture my knowledge of the sport into what I have today. I can make a legitimate argument right now. Take the top 15 players out of the National Basketball Association. Take the top 10 players out of the National Football League, and none of them are more popular than me. It's what I've done. Ain't here to toot my own horn. I'm here to tell you, don't think you're going to get away with disrespecting me. I wasn't given a damn thing. I've earned everything I have, and I always aim to give back. I'm honored that IMG Academy asked me to come down there and speak. I'm honored that they named a week-long basketball camp after my name. What they're doing is pointing out that I have something to do with having a positive impact on the sport of basketball. Did you know that Michael Wilbon for the Washington Post, that now is a star on PTI for the last 21 years, that is my colleague on NBA Countdown on ESPN? Did you know that Mike Wilbon just a couple of years ago was inducted into the Hall of Fame? I ain't never seen him play NBA. I ain't never seen him play college. He's a Hall of Famer because his contribution to the sport is unquestionable. Mad Dog Russo's a radio host. He's in the Hall of Fame, Radio Hall of Fame. So is Mike Greenberg, Mike Golick. There's a host of individuals in this business who are Hall of Famers because of their contribution and their impact to the sport. Suddenly, y'all ignorant and y'all don't know that? This is what pisses me off, because I know you know better. I know you know better. And just as an aside, I want to pull this something up because it annoys me. And I think that at some point in time, it all needs to stop. Those comments that I just spewed was reserved for the general public. But when it comes to black folks, I'm going to isolate us, everybody else rather, and I'm going to direct the black people that were throwing shade on me over the last couple of days. You see, you tend to do this to each other, as in we tend to do this to each other. It's like, my God, you can't succeed and have good intentions and all of this other stuff. I can do 99 things right. The second I do something wrong, ready to tear it down. We do this to each other all the time. It's a damn shame. It really, really is. And there are times where I've said I understand that, you know. When Lil Wayne said he never experienced racism, I understood that backlash because how's that possible? That's how I felt about it too. Morgan Freeman telling Don Lemon he didn't think racism existed. I don't get that. I don't understand it. Kanye West called racism a dated concept. I didn't agree with that. Raven Simone criticizing black-sounding names. I don't know what that means. Stacey Dash saying she doesn't believe a Black History Month should exist. Although I frowned upon that when I saw Morgan Freeman's explanation for that on 60 Minutes. I respected it because he was saying, why limit us to just 1 month? That's insulting. I understood his position on that, by the way. But I think the best example, what it really was excruciating to me, is when Black America attacked Ice Cube, who had a plan for America that he was willing to present to the Bidens or the Biden administration just as much as the Trump administration. And folks attacked him. This is Ice Cube. NWA. We won't repeat what that means. NWA is raw and as real as it got. Who's fought on behalf of black people his entire life. And the second y'all thought he uttered the wrong syllable, you turned on him. He might respond with an interview. He might respond with a diatribe. He might respond by making a movie. He doesn't have a platform that enables him to hit back against a daily, a weekly, a monthly, or annual onslaught like I do. I ain't backing up from nobody. Y'all must be out y'all damn minds coming at me like that. Don't do it again. Because y'all ain't the only ones that got something to say, in case you haven't noticed.